Let me tell you of the days of high adventure.
What's up, everybody? I'm John.
And I'm Kevin.
And this is 6 Degrees of Schwarzenegger, the podcast where we take a long, hard look at some of our favorite action movies from the era of Arnold.
Schwarzenegger is the icon of the genre, and we're taking a deep dive into some of these 80s and 90s cult action movies and breaking them all the way down.
We're going to get into the nitty-gritty and examine the good, the bad, the ugly, and the laughable in these movies.
But we're always coming at it from a place of love. You don't watch these movies as much as we have unless you have a genuine affection for them.
Let's do it.
Well, welcome back, Kevin.
Hi, John.
I'm excited. Kevin is here with me in the flesh in Houston, Texas. We're loving life.
Woo!
We're here in my tiny living room. And glad to have you back, buddy.
Fuck a pandemic. We're doing our best.
For reals.
We're keeping safe.
That's right. We're staying out of the shit, as it were.
Yeah.
And staying indoors and wearing masks and doing all that fun stuff. Elbow shaking and whatnot. Elbow bumping. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm happy to be here. Happy to have a little change of scenery in my life. Is
absolutely,
nice.
Absolutely. Glad that you're here. Kevin, what movie are we talking about today?
Get ready, motherfuckers, because we're talking about Tango and Cash.
I would just like to say that I know that we say that we're coming at these movies from a place of love. But I hate this movie. This movie sucks.
I mean, we've talked about a lot of movies on this podcast.
Yeah, we have.
And some of them are pretty shitty.
Yeah.
But have we ever talked about a shittier movie than this one?
This is by far the worst. Like, objectively, even though I love it, Over the Top is a terrible movie.
I was wondering where you'd rank it on
this movie
compared to Over the Top.
This movie is so much worse.
Okay.
It's terrible.
I mean, there's going to be a lot to talk about as we go through, but yes. What I had said to you before, because you hadn't seen it much.
I haven't seen it since it came out. It's been 30 years.
There's no aspect of this movie that doesn't just completely fall apart if you scrutinize it for more than a second. Like every plot development, everything is completely ludicrous.
I feel like this movie is what would happen if you fed a bot now just hours and hours of 90s action film screenplays, 80s and 90s action film screenplays, and this is what would come. It doesn't make any sense at all.
I think my thought was, this is something that I would have written as a 12-year-old and thought that I had done good.
And yeah, you thought that you're like, these jokes are sick.
These jokes are killing. The action sequence, the plot, fucking airtight.
This movie's terrible.
This movie came out in 1989.
Mm-hmm. Same year as a lot of other great movies.
A lot of other good shit came out that year, but directed by Andrei Konchalovsky, I guess, Russian director, I think.
Yeah, he was. If you look at his IMDb, is full of things written in Cyrillic that I've never heard of.
Cool. Das Vidanya, Andrei.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's apparently one of 4 directors that worked on this movie, though.
That makes more sense as to why this movie is terrible.
You would say, how does that happen? But you're like, oh, wait, no, that explains a lot.
Yeah. Every other day a new guy shows up. I'm the director. Okay.
So my research had said that Konchalovsky was replaced near the end of principal photography by a guy named Albert Magnoli. Don't know him.
Magnoli, something like that.
Ravioli. I'm sorry. In his memoirs, Konchalovsky had said that the reason he was fired was because he wanted to give the film a more serious tone than the producers had wanted. And so it was a difference of opinion with, who was it, John?
John Peters.
John Peters, the producer. Yeah. So, yeah, basically he was sort of forced out. I have also here that Stallone directed some, which fucking makes sense.
That makes total sense because of how bad it is. And just you feel like the movie is rooting more for Tango than Cash anyway.
Yes.
It's he's definitely
give me more jokes, give me better this, that, or the other.
Everything leads back to Stallone in this movie.
And then also second unit director, I think, or executive producer, or both. Peter McDonald also stepped in and did some directing on the thing, so it's just like, it's a shit show.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
If there's a lack of continuity in the style of the movie, then that's why. Although, there almost was continuity, because it was just shitty from beginning to end.
From the get-go. Written, and I use that word very loosely, written by Randy Feldman.
That sounds like a fake name that you would give if you didn't want your real name attached to it.
It has to be a pen name for someone.
It's
Someone's
like an Alan
non-flume.
Smithy situation.
It's because Stallone didn't want to say, "Yeah, I wrote it."
Randy, give the credit to Randy Feldman.
I wrote it. Randy Feldman's that's Stallone's pen name.
Or
Randy Feldman.
him and Frank working together.
Music by Harold Faltermeyer for the most part.
Fucking shit. Yeah, some dude named Gary Chang did some additional music after all the reshoots and re-edits of the film, and because Faltermeyer was just like, I'm not
coming back
and reworking it.
Screw you guys, I've had enough.
I also have here. Hold on. When speaking of the writer, so
Randy Feldman.
We also had a famous. Well, they say Stallone also did some heavy rewrites, which fucking makes
sense. He has always.
He's like, let me give it a better voice.
All right, let's go.
Let's do this. So they also brought in Jeffrey Boehm to do rewrites, but he hated the script so much, apparently, that he didn't want his name attached to it.
That's
but
amazing.
This dude wrote Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. He wrote The Dead Zone. He did rewrites on Lethal Weapon 1, 2, and 3. He wrote Inner Space and Lost Boys.
Oh, Jesus.
Like, he had written some good stuff.
Yeah.
Like, fucking Last Crusade? Killer.
Yeah.
Killer movie. But yeah, I think he did not want his name anywhere on this project.
No, not when you've got a pedigree like that. I definitely would not. When you've just been like killing it, and then all of a sudden your name's attached to a dud like this.
Like if you as a writer recognize that this is a terrible, terrible screenplay. Yeah, you don't want your name on it.
And it is, folks. It is legitimately the most nonsensical bullshit I've ever heard in my entire life. It's like someone like English as a third language.
Yes.
Is responsible for this.
Yes.
It's like someone plugged in some jokes into the Google Translate, and this is what came out.
Popped out.
Yeah.
We almost never talk about the director of photography. On
you have
movies.
to regale our audience with this story.
The credited DP on this movie was Donald E. Thorin, although it started out with famous cinematographer and director Barry Sonnenfeld being the original director of photography. He got fired because Stallone didn't like the way that he was being lit in the movie. But dude, Sonnenfeld was like the DP on Coen Brothers movies. He did Raising Arizona, Miller's Crossing. He directed
both amazing movies. DP for Misery.
Yeah, fucking killer titles.
And then he directed
When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah, and then he directed things like the entire Addams Family franchise and the
Men in Black
and the Men in Black franchise.
Get Shorty.
Yeah,
he's fucking great.
Wow, I didn't know he did Get Shorty. That's badass. Yeah. That's super awesome.
So he's all over the place, and clearly he might have been. You look at it, he might have been the most talented behind the camera guy attached to this movie, and he got fired because of Stallone's.
I don't like the way you're lighting me.
Why does Kurt Russell?
Why does Kurt Russell look so much better in this scene than I do? Why does he look so much better in this scene than I do?
You made his hair look better with the lighting, and
his hair looks amazing. Stallone sucks. That's another thing that I want to get off. I want to get off my chest right now.
May as well.
Like, I've had beef with Stallone in the past. I detest him in this movie.
His creative choices.
His
sucks. Personality.
Everything that he does in this movie is terrible.
You hear about actors being divas and stuff, but it sounds like Stallone was unrivaled.
Yeah, like a terror. Some other fun things about this movie. I heard or read somewhere that Swayze was originally supposed to play Cash.
Yeah, I saw the same. He bailed to do Roadhouse.
Yeah. And then which released the same year.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That makes sense,
That's very cool. Yeah.
They would have been probably in production at the same time.
Principal photography began without a script.
That makes sense.
Which is
amazing.
Sense. The film ultimately went 20 million over budget. It was made for, hold on, let me look at it. Made for 55, grossed 63.4, went 20 million over and had to be completely re-edited by Stuart Baird prior to release.
They brought in he was some sort of like an editing doctor who could take a shit movie and make it a little bit less shitty.
Just,
I guess.
But only slightly. Wouldn't you have loved to see the
raw
version?
footage?
Yes.
I feel like there's a lot of scenes that we didn't get to see because there's some gaping plot holes in the movie and big chunks of action that go unseen.
It's absurd.
Yeah.
But starring, of course, Sly, which we mentioned, Kurt Russell just can do no wrong in my eyes.
He's in front of the camera. He's like one of the few redeeming qualities in this movie because he brings it. He actually can sell the jokes even though they're not that funny.
He's a wizard at being able to take something that shouldn't by rights make sense and make it sound like, all right, maybe I could kind of get behind that.
I think he puts his whole, he believes it, so it helps you, the viewer, to believe it.
That's a good actor.
Because he'll just fucking go for it.
Also, Terry Hatcher as Kiki Tango.
Woo!
That name, Kiki Tango.
Kiki Tango.
I feel like Stallone came up with that name.
Of course.
Probably.
But, man, Terry Hatcher at her absolute most beautiful.
Yeah, this was her first big movie. I know her best, of course, from Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman.
She was awesome. Housewives, of course, was a big thing for her. But, Lois and Clark was one of my serious crushes.
I never miss a Sunday night Lois and Clark episode. It was awesome. Your big bad, Perret. Eve Perret. Yeah, Eve Perret, played by Jack Palance, Hollywood legend.
Amazing. Same year that he had done Batman, playing damn near the same character.
Boss Carl Grissom.
He definitely had the same energy.
You're my number one, a guy.
But he is a Hollywood legend.
Oh yeah, he was big in westerns.
Shane, the big bad in Shane,
like one of the most famous westerns. He'd had 2 Best Supporting Actor Oscar nominations in his career before for performances.
A long time prior.
Early in his career.
Okay,
I think maybe Shane was one of them.
I could see it because he's memorable.
I remember him back in the day when TNT actually played movies and stuff. But he was one of the villains in the Anthony Quinn movie, 1961, Barabbas, about the convict that was released instead of Jesus.
My dad used to love all of that Bible shit, the biblical epics, and Barabbas was heavy rotation.
That was a good movie. Yeah. Anthony Quinn was awesome in that. Anyway, Jack Palance was also similarly awesome. But yeah, he had a legendary career. We get a favorite standby actor from a lot of sci-fi movies that are favorites of mine. Brian James as Ponytail / Rakeen.
Rakeen. Well, we will, for the purposes of this podcast, we'll just refer to him as Ponytail Thug or Ponytail Goon or Ponytail.
Yeah, he was in Fifth Element, and he was Leon Kowalski in Blade Runner.
Yeah,
very memorable Voight contest.
What he was in 48 Hours. He was
awesome,
and the sequel, which I don't think I've ever seen another 48 Hours.
I don't think I have either.
Yeah.
Who else is in this?
James fucking Hong, dude.
Legend playing Quan.
Fucking David Lopan himself.
That's right.
Reuniting with Kurt Russell, I guess. He's awesome. He doesn't get a whole lot to say or do in this movie, but he just, on his presence on screen and just
he's iconic. Yeah. He's another element of this movie that is he sells everything that he does because he's talented.
He's just a talented guy. Like, as an actor, he's been in bad movies, but I've never seen him and been like, wow, he really sucks in this movie.
And then there's Clint Howard, Ron's brother, as Slinky the inmate.
There's a cavalcade of character actors.
Yeah.
There's so many. We can work through them as we come to them, maybe, because we can go all day just talking about the dudes, man, the bros.
The babes.
I want to talk about the movie.
So you want to talk about the movie?
I want to. Oh, come on, man. Let's talk about the movie, guys.
Okay. Let's do it.
Oh my god. This movie, dude, from the first original frame of footage, which is after the Warner Brothers logo has come and gone, fades to black, and you just get Stallone's voice, disembodied, nothing to do with anything. Okay, let's do it. Why? Why?
Because Stallone was probably like, I got a great idea for how to start this movie. It's going to be cool, like a rap video.
When I was telling you we were going to do this movie, I told you from the first moment to the very first moment of the film and the very finalist last moment of the film are just absolute insanity, and everything in the middle is just more of the same.
Yeah, we've been talking a lot about doing like blind tastings.
Yeah.
And
Or
this
at least when you haven't. Yeah,
this is definitely one for me because I haven't seen it since the year it came out, and I was 7 years old, and I had, so basically had never seen it.
It's aged pretty well, don't you think?
Oh my, no.
It's somehow worse, I'm sure.
So whereas you're coming at it from someone who remembers having seen it a lot, I definitely was coming back to it as a novice.
And I think as a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, 12-year-old watching it, wearing out the VHS tape, I thought it was fucking great, and the jokes were funny.
Absolutely.
Stallone, what a comic talent.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Boo.
Yeah, what? So, we open with Lieutenant Ray Tango. That's Stallone.
That's right.
He is pursuing a tanker truck in his Cadillac convertible, despite orders to drop back. Yeah.
I see. I can handle this myself.
He's talking a mile a minute. He's probably coked up.
No.
I've been working the case for 3 months.
Why is he talking so fast?
I don't know. I think he was trying to do ADR work. I feel like he was trying to lip sync, but still, it's really bad.
I hesitate to call it a choice because I don't feel like it. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, but this guy Tango, he's very put together. He's got a 3-piece suit, designer eyewear, lots of jewelry.
Lots of gold, big jewelry.
Big ring, big, like probably an earring. I think he had the gold frame glasses. Yeah.
Which were apparently his in real life.
Hell
Stallone's, yeah.
Huh.
That he actually wears glasses.
Cool, I guess.
I don't know.
Or not, I don't know. But, so he works his way. He gets in front of the tanker truck.
Yeah, the tanker's like swerving around trying to cut him off.
Right, they're out in the desert or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool looking. I would like to be out in the arid, dry desert as opposed to humid Houston.
So in the tanker, we got a couple of goons led by the actor Robert Z'Dar, who's just. His face is unbelievable. It's not a human being's face.
His character, he looks like a Dick Tracy character, and I immediately went to internet just to see what his deal is.
Face or some shit. Like he's insane.
It's his real face.
Yeah.
It's shocking to me, but I mean, I'm not going to knock anyone for their looks, but it does look like a facial prosthetic.
Yeah, he's got this, just the jaw you would not believe. It's huge. It's like a fucking, like a, I don't know what, it's like a Frisbee.
Yeah.
His character, on the credits, he's credited as Face, but no one ever says a name. No one ever puts a name to him in the film. So
no, and
I just call him Big Jawed Goon because I don't expect anyone to remember this character's name.
I'll call him Face. You call him Big Jawed Goon. No one will care.
He is known for he was the titular Maniac Cop in the Maniac Cop franchise. Which is
never seen it.
Probably about as good as it sounds. He's done some other, like a whole bunch of MST3K type movies,
right?
Including he was a big bad guy in the movie Soul Taker, which is one of the great MST3K episodes of all time.
I'll have to check that out. Soul Taker, cool name.
Yeah. Anyway, there's a very low flying police helicopter that's also as part of the pursuit. I'm not sure why it's flying so low.
I still love that. I mean, it like swoops in, like the VO, the helicopter swoops in so that this cop can tell Tango that he's running out of time. It's like it's like he didn't have to get close because he's not yelling out the window. You're on a radio. Like, why did you have to fly that close?
If anything, he'd not be able to hear the radio because he's got a helicopter 10 feet above him.
Doesn't make any sense.
But the guy on the radio is telling him, "We're out of our jurisdiction, so you better hurry." It's like, I don't think that's how jurisdiction works. You're either in or out.
That's not how policing works.
I thought it sounded like the fucking hard deck in Top Gun. Like, I was only out of my jurisdiction for a few seconds, sir. There was no danger. That's not how the shit works, dude.
No.
If that gets it thrown out of court, then it's thrown out of court. I don't know. I don't even understand how jurisdiction works other than in the movies.
Yeah.
Is it a real thing? Do you abandon a chase when you cross state lines?
I don't.
Or whatever, across county lines?
I don't think so. At least not in Smokey and the Bandit.
I would feel like you continue, and then maybe if the guys who are in their proper jurisdiction show up, then you drop off and let them take control.
Exactly.
But maybe that's what they meant.
I think that's what you do is you drop off and offer assistance if needed. But you don't just let the criminal go because you've crossed state lines or county lines.
Oh, sorry, he got away.
I can't do anything about this. Maybe.
His radio call sign in the movie is 20 William 12, which was the radio call sign in Lethal Weapon for Riggs and Murtaugh's car.
We're going to talk a lot about this as the movie goes.
A lot of meta references in the movie.
Very meta. Do you feel like it's stuff that Stallone was like, I love that in Lethal Weapon. Let's take it.
I bet if there was a human being, if Randy Feldman actually exists, then he wrote a lot of the references in, I think. I don't think Stallone would do that.
He apparently does exist, and he has a brother,
Corey?
Dennis Feldman, I think. That would be awesome.
Fucking A.
Oh, Corey. No, I can't remember if he was also a writer. He was somehow involved in Hollywood, too. But I feel like what happened is that Mr. Feldman did this movie and then, like, vanished.
I feel like there was a lot of heavy reworking as well. But yeah, I feel like probably a lot of the meta stuff could have been him.
Okay, that makes sense.
Who the fuck knows, dude? No one knows. No one wants credit for this, I don't think.
No, everyone trying to distance themselves from this.
Somehow Tango gets like about maybe a half a mile ahead of the tanker
farther.
Or more, like
Jesus.
Really quickly. But then he stops and he parks his car in the middle of the road. He's got this little snub-nosed 38.
It was not the gun that I would expect for him to draw.
It's a dainty little gun.
It is. And he empties the whole thing. Like, he empties
dumps all his bullets out and then reloads with other bullets, which I don't know if there's something unique about those.
Maybe it was explained in a different draft or something. I
don't know. That is a shit gun, though, for shooting anything from distance.
I know nothing of firearms, but I don't think that 38 is going to get the job done.
Not from so far away, it'd just be hard to shoot accurately.
From a half mile.
That's an in-close weapon. Like, that's what you would have on your ankle, not your primary weapon.
If I was going to buy a gun for my home, which I likely never will, that's a gun that I would have in my home because it's not going to jam because it's a revolver.
Yeah, I feel like I would have a revolver. I don't even think I'd do a snub nose. I think I'd get something with a little more barrel to it.
Yeah.
But yes, it's weird. I feel like Stallone was trying to do something outside of the Stallone mold for this movie, maybe. Like, give me a smaller gun. I want to be very well tailored and like well spoken and whatever the fuck else. But
let's do it.
Yeah, it's not a macho gun, and Tango doesn't come off as being all that macho so far.
No.
So back in the truck, Big Jaw Goon, aka Face. Like,
what a face.
Well. He's like, oh my gosh, this guy's crazy.
He's freaking out. Yeah, he fires 2 rounds,
hits the windshield.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not even going through the windshield.
Yeah, or is it? But just not hitting them. I couldn't tell what was happening.
I couldn't either. I mean,
but Face is freaking out.
Yeah,
he's like, this guy's crazy, and is he getting close to Stallone? He just slams on the brakes like this next shot he'd hit me with it.
Right.
Which I'm thinking to myself. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm going to hit him in his car with this truck, even if he hits me. But he slams on the brakes. The truck squeals to a stop, and he and his cohort fly through the front windshield.
Yeah.
They should have worn seatbelts, right?
Always. Safety first.
Yes. But yeah, they just fly through the glass and land on the asphalt, and then Tango's got jokes for him.
And then we get the first in an hour and 47 minutes worth of terrible one-liner. Well, 3 one-liners back to back.
1, 2, 3. It's like, yeah.
Glad you could drop in. Followed by, you like jewelry? As he's pulling the cuffs out.
Fucking shit.
And then Faces, fuck you, which rightfully so, I would too. Yeah. And then, I prefer blondes.
What the shit, man. That's the kind of movie we're in for,
The tone has been set. The table's set. I'm furious already. My blood is boiling.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I sort of feel like Stallone wanted to do a movie where he got to deliver like the John McClane or Schwarzenegger type one-liners.
Yeah.
Give me a movie with the one-liners. I'm as funny as any of those guys.
Stallone, at best in this movie, comes across like someone who's never talked to another person or told a joke.
He has it's a never-ending supply of not funny one-liners.
Yeah, it's like I've seen comedic acting, and I feel like I can do it. I'm going to try my hand at it, and it's just every instinct that he has is wrong.
Yeah,
it's terrible. Anyway,
so at that moment, a bunch of good old boy type sheriff's deputies all come rolling up, rocking the aviators, and they all fucking hate Tango immediately. Oh, and Tango's captain shows up, Captain Schroeder.
That's right, with the worst hairpiece you've ever seen in your entire life.
This dude is 60, maybe, and he's got like this young man's hairpiece on.
I don't understand. It's like
it's just weird.
Play your age, brother.
It's like pushed way back where he's got like bangs, but they're
it's rough.
Way the fuck
it
back.
looks like Uncle Rico's hairpiece in fucking Napoleon Dynamite.
Very much true. The character's played by an actor named Jeffrey Lewis, who was just a character actor, done a million roles. I remember him distinctly as being one of the Van Damme's mentors in Double Impact. Where we got 2 Van Dammes in one movie, thank God. What we've always been wishing for. But yeah, I feel like that movie was probably around a similar time as this, and I feel like he had more realistic hair in that movie than this one.
I don't know why you wouldn't just be bald.
Now his headshot on IMDb now is a bald guy.
He's a very handsome guy, or he was a very handsome guy. R.I.P.
He for some reason he is not credited in this movie. He's not in the credits.
Like maybe he was one of the people that we surmised was like, can you just not put my name in this?
Take my name off it, man.
I don't want to be in this.
I can't figure that out because he is... of this cast, he's probably one of the 10 largest characters in the film.
Yeah.
And he's just missing
it's very,
from the
very,
credits.
very noticeable and bizarre that he's not credited.
Yeah, maybe there was some behind-the-scenes drama, or he was just unhappy with the finished product.
Same.
Or he could have gotten into a beef. Same. Nice. Like, all these deputies fucking hate Tango immediately.
Well, he's from out of town. He's a city boy.
He's a big city boy.
They're freaking out.
And Tango's telling his captain that he heard that there's drugs in the truck, but these deputies they can't find anything. They're up there.
The captain gives like weird. There's glass all over the road. These guys are out of their truck. They're parked in the road. Like okay, like he just basically giving information about what he sees. And it's just like none of these things are really like anything to be angry about.
So the deputies aren't finding the drugs that Tango says is there, and then this one mulleted deputy comes up and gets right in Tango's face.
I feel like maybe it's just because that's such a like an archetypical like
the
character.
Mirrored aviator shades. And
he's freaking out. The guy is freaking out.
He is. They're saying it's like the tanks are full of gas on the tanker. This dude, I jotted down. He says, we checked the whole truck, asshole. There's nothing in it. And you're out of your neighborhood, big city boy.
I want your badge.
I want your weapon. I want your ass. Who the fuck you think you are?
That's a really good impersonation.
Thanks, bro.
That's excellent.
So then some other Yahoo up on top of the truck says he thinks he's Rambo.
And this is the first time the movie gets meta.
Yeah. I mean, it is kind of mind-blowing to see.
Yeah.
It does make you take a step back. Like,
he is Rambo.
Yeah. Well, what does Stallone say?
Rambo is a pussy.
Okay.
And then,
it's strange.
And then he draws his weapon and fires it over the cop's shoulder, discharges the weapon in the direction of other cops.
And what may well be a tanker full of gasoline.
Yeah, he doesn't know for sure.
He can't be positive.
He's being awfully cavalier with a lot of people's lives.
There definitely is gas in the truck.
Yes. And lo and behold, like, cocaina starts pouring out of the bullet hole. What do you know? It's snowing. And then he walks over, and I hate, this is the first time that his 3 one-liners in a row made me want to punch him in the face. But then this, anybody want to get high? Made me, like, I was like, I'm going to kill you, Stallone.
I mean, I've never handled cocaine in my life, but I don't feel like the cocaine didn't seem to have the right texture. It seemed like it was like granulated, like sugar or salt or something pouring out. And I feel like cocaine's more like powder like flour or something.
Yeah, or like a baking soda.
Yeah, like it clumps together.
It's not
it
like
run like sand through the hourglass.
It's not like and so these are the days of our lives. Yeah. No one knows why Stallone is the way he is, but no one wants to get high.
No, they don't.
We see like the police blockade and like people like they're like easing traffic through.
Yeah.
And we see the limo.
Yeah. The limo drives by. We got a hand sort of in the window with a massive fucking ring on it.
It's enormous.
It's Eve Perret, you guys.
That's right.
AKA Jack Palance. He's kicking in there with Quan, James Hong, and another guy, Lopez.
Yeah.
The lesser henchmen or whatever the hell they are.
Lesser recognizable henchmen, yeah.
Yeah. So they're just there, huh? They just happen to be out there on the highway at that moment?
I have no idea. Like, were they supposed to meet the truck somewhere? It's all I can think of.
If that truck was going to his headquarters,
and he was also going to his headquarters,
on his way to his headquarters too, then maybe.
Yeah,
that's
the only thing that makes sense is that he was supposed to be part of the meet with Face.
Yeah, but he's he's lamenting. We got Perret is lamenting the fact that Tango has foiled them again.
Tango and Cash. Cash and Tango.
It's amazing.
It's
that is the 4 minutes and 45-second mark into the movie. Probably a new record for us for having the title of the movie
most
stated
certainly
out loud.
is. Most definitely is.
So this is the moment that we all should have walked away.
That's right. We definitely should have turned it off because I cannot get this hour and 47 minutes back. It's
one of the weirdest in a car scenes I've ever seen because there's no rear projection or anything. There's just white outside the windows. Like when I was in film school and you were shooting an indoor scene and you wanted to make outdoors outside the window, you would put up a sheet of white paper and light it. Because, I mean, if you're take a photo of a darkened room, like that outside the window is just a wash of light.
Right.
But in a movie, you're used to actually seeing a blue sky or fucking other cars or something.
Exactly.
This is just white.
They're frosted white windows.
This was 100% filmed like on a sound stage.
This part specifically, definitely. Definitely.
With the car. I've never seen anything like it in what would be like a big budget movie.
This movie is full of questionable decisions, for sure.
By all involved.
Right.
Actually, in the beginning of The Godfather, when Don Corleone is in his office and seeing visitors, outside his windows is like just white as well. I feel like that movie was done on the cheap, kind of, though, and it was 17 years earlier than this movie.
Right.
Like, yeah, the budget would have been a fraction of what Tango and Cash cost. Imagine that.
That's amazing to think about.
The budget of Godfather is a fraction of what Tango and Cash
There are
cost.
far fewer explosions.
Godfather's twice as long, 100 times as good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it would have been way cheaper.
It's
crazy.
Weird to think about those two movies even being made on the same planet.
They're the same art form. They're
in the same universe.
It's
crazy.
Nuts. Yeah. So Quan and Lopez, they want to take care of Tango and Cash, but no, Perret's got other ideas.
Perret is your classic movie villain. It's like, no, I've got a stupid way to do things. It's going to take forever.
I got a very convoluted plan I want to see through here. So back in downtown L.A., Gabriel Cash, that's our Kurt Russell.
We love Kurt. Yay.
He's returning to his apartment in this fucking beautiful vintage Corvette.
I want that car so bad.
Yeah, it was like one of the second or third generation Corvettes, but it was all black. I mean, it's incredible.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, Cash had his own little jazzy theme song.
I can't even remember that fucking synth. Oh, that's right. With that synthesized harmonica.
Unbelievable. Not Faltermeyer's best work.
It's not, but it is memorable enough that you can sing it back to me. I
could see that I've seen the movie like 4 times in the past week, which is a problem. It's a problem. It haunts my dreams. I feel like a lot of the music in this might have just been stuff that Faltermeyer worked on and tossed out for other films.
Definitely.
Yeah, like, what do I got?
He's like, it was already written. You're probably not far off. That you probably just had some themes laying around. It's like, I can plug this hole, that's fine.
Maybe.
Kurt Russell's looking very, like, peak 80s Kurt Russell in this movie.
God, it was like Jack Burton, but with an extra inch of volume to the mullet, to the hair, or whatever.
His hair is a character on its own. It's so beautiful.
With that hairstyle, could that be rocked today?
I feel like he's still rocking that full head of hair like that still.
Yeah.
It's a little less mullety maybe.
Yeah.
But I feel like even if it was mullety, that he'd still get away with it.
Stuntman Mike or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Badass.
Or even whatever his character's name was in Guardians 2.
Oh, Ego?
Yeah, Ego.
Was it Ego?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Like, he still has the same hair.
Yeah, he awesome.
Still looks amazing. Yeah, I'm Team Kurt 100%.
He is the saving grace of this film.
Yes, the savior. He is this movie's personal Jesus Christ.
But he pulls that beautiful, beautiful car into his own little private garage, which is kind of strange. But if I had that car, I wouldn't want to park it on the street.
No.
for sure. Now then he walks on into his apartment carrying like a 6-pack of beer and some other and a fucking
That he
falafel or something that he didn't have when he got out of that car.
He found it in the hallway. Maybe a delivery lady dropped it off
He
earlier.
ripped it off from someone.
He beat up one of those alley kids and took it.
He scoops up the newspaper that was slid under his door, which is our first newspaper shot of the movie, of many.
Of like what? Like 15 or something?
Double digits for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah, on the headline, front page, Tango is above the fold. Cash is further down, but still on the front page.
Still on the front.
Bust.
I love that these cop busts are front page news.
Well, so Tango's headline said that they seized a $1 billion worth of cocaine. That is, I did some research on how the fuck much did cocaine cost in 1989, and there's no way.
That would be, I feel like that'd be several like tanker ships full of drugs.
Yeah. It was like, it would have had to have been like 80 tons of cocaine.
From what I remember from The Wire, that would have to be ships full of cocaine.
Yeah. That we know that there was gas in addition to this cocaine. There's just no way there was that much cocaine in the trunk. No. $1 billion worth.
No.
That is insane.
I feel like Stallone had to have written that, and he's like, make it $1 billion.
Make it $1 billion.
Make it $1 billion. He found $1 billion worth of cocaine.
Cash's headline said that he had busted or seized 200 kilos, which is a little more realistic.
Yeah, agreed.
That might be a couple $1 million worth, but to have billions, it would have had to have been like, it would have been 20 or 30 tanker trucks probably full of cocaine.
I like the little joke that he makes at Tango's expense. If it isn't Armani with a badge.
Not wrong.
They're very, very different cops. We can already tell.
I read somewhere they said, the Cash character is based on Martin Riggs, that Mel Gibson from Lethal Weapon. It's like, that movie came out 2 years earlier. You're basing a character off a movie that's still current, and the sequel to that movie came out this very same year.
Yeah, this movie is, yeah.
It's weird. This is fucking weird, dude.
Yeah, it's very strange.
It'd be like in 1990, you make a thing, it's like, this character's based on Batman. It's like, what? Okay, but why? What?
But it is Batman.
I don't know.
I like that he stops and admires himself in a mirror. He's feeling his look.
He was checking himself out. He liked to look at himself on the front page or on the page of that paper.
He's like, God, I look good.
So in that moment, a goon bursts through the glass of the mirror that he's studying and shoots him in the chest. But how?
Immediately shot.
Was there no door on the behind the glass? He burst through the glass like as if it was a hollow door behind the glass. Like,
I feel like it was a mirror. That's a good question.
No, it was hung on a door.
That's really weird. I didn't even think about that. That's really weird.
It's one of the many. This happens once a minute in this movie. There's a thing that, like, if you stop for a second to scrutinize it, then it's like, wait a second, that could not happen.
Yeah, he shoots him and then shoots him again.
Yeah.
And I just wonder, like, what if Cash had died?
Oh, that would have been the movie would have been Tango.
Yeah, I would kill myself. I feel like.
Yeah, no, that would have been a hard slog.
Sucked.
Can you imagine no Cash, just Tango? All Stallone, cracking one-liners to nobody.
Only solo Tango.
Solo Tango for one.
It would have been really, really sad if Kurt Russell had died right here. Anyway.
That's a good idea. Tango. The end. Now it's just Tango. He falls out onto the fire escape, almost falls over the railing.
Right. Catches himself at the last minute.
And he triggers a gun that's built into the heel of his cowboy boot.
That's a neat James Bond trick.
Yeah, it sends the goon running for cover, but basically this is the kind of movie we're dealing with.
Right.
The guy's got a gun in his boot that he just walks around in. And just in case, you never know when you're going to need that boot gun.
Well, he needed it today. So good thing he had it. Otherwise, this movie would be called Tango.
Oh, yeah. And now the goon, he goes and he jumps out the window from the second floor, lands on top of a car parked on the street. It's a pretty cool stunt.
That stunt fucks. That's awesome.
This stuntman, like, I'm pretty sure the goon, is the stuntman who did the stunt, because I've seen this guy in other flicks.
Oh, really?
He's
great.
Yeah, he's like an Al Leong or a Jeff Amata type that he just turns up in so many movies. I remember him very distinctly doing a big foot chase in Lethal Weapon 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cash, of course, jumps out after him.
Right. There's like the briefest of foot chases.
You can't chase that guy in boots.
This Point Break. This is not.
No, and this is the first moment in the movie out of a few moments where, like, I sort of get the Jack Burton vibe from Big Trouble in Little China.
Totally.
Because there's a big scene near the beginning of Big Trouble that takes place in the airport parking garage.
Yeah, with
and
the car chasing him around.
Exactly. And he pushes Wang out of the way. And so
totally.
Like, this is a very similar scene, a very similar setup of him chasing this guy around in the parking deck.
The bad guy, he comes whipping out in this sweet 4x4 truck.
Yeah, looks like Marty McFly's 4x4 from Back to the Future.
Jason Cutler's
yes.
truck over the top.
That shit was
got
awesome.
Those
KC lamps on top.
Well, the rack of lights on the real fucking rad, dude.
They're sweet.
But yeah, Cash. Yeah, there's like a homeless woman, as there always is, pushing a cart full of cans through the parking.
They're gonna go make some money at the recycling center.
Do you think she was looking for cans in the parking deck? Maybe. I mean, what else was she doing in there other than just being there?
They needed that body, baby.
She's a prop.
That's the only reason. Maybe she lives in the parking deck.
But this same sort of deal happened in Speed. I feel like other action movies too. There's just always a homeless person pushing a cart of cans that's going to get hit by the car.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Always. They just pop up out of the fucking woodwork. But this truck is just like slamming into cars.
It's a very packed parking garage also.
We got Cash. He commandeers this elderly Russian man's car, who's like yelling at him.
I'm taking this. Goodbye. Man's like going to a birthday party or something. He's got presents.
If anything, I feel like Cash is doing as much damage as the goon. He's like crashing into more cars.
He immediately perpetuates a significant amount of damage by like running into cars. He tries to ram the truck and misses and goes past it, hitting another car, but then he keeps driving backwards.
He knocked the doors off this car, and there's all sorts of crazy shit is going on. The truck goes slamming into some Volvo, and there's just like a couple fucking in the back seat of the car.
Yeah, they got the boobs out of the way real quick.
That was in
this movie.
For me, that was an incredible gratuitous nudity scene because it just came from nowhere.
Why is this couple in the parking deck fucking in the car?
And I only realized, I guess, having watched a bunch recently, that I must have been watching an edited version as a younger man.
You don't remember the boobies?
Because I do not remember those boobs, and that was amazing.
It was
from nowhere.
It was very surprising. In a movie full of surprises.
Yes, you got to get that. This movie is checking all the action movie boxes.
And what else happens in this parking deck thing? There's a lot of damage. The truck, knocks down a bunch of fluorescent lights that somehow stay lit just so that Cash can drive through them because it looks cool. Because as the truck is hitting them, we see they're being shattered. Yeah.
But then they cut to another angle and they're all lit and hanging, and it does look cool. I guess.
But it doesn't make any sense in life.
It's a continuity error, and there's just logically it makes no sense. I do like the end, though, where Cash
he spears that car forward.
Hits a car, knocks it down to the lower level, and it falls in front of the truck, and the truck plows into it.
I like it.
Yeah. Then Cash just arrests the guy, pops in there with his revolver with a massive, laser scope.
Then we get a bit from the old man whose car he stole to capture the guy, and the man's like, I believe in perestroika!
He's got his glass nose shirt on, and
Cash replies, welcome to America. He gets his first one-liner in, and it's a breath of fresh air, in comparison to the stilted acting of Stallone.
He's such a charming guy, this Kurt Russell.
Yeah, the script sucks donkey dick, but Kurt Russell is great.
Untold amounts of property damage happened.
Yeah, thousands and thousands and thousands.
Cars are totaled.
Yeah.
So now we got Tango. He's strolling into his precinct or his police station or whatever. He's got the hero's welcome from all the other cops.
It's like one of the cops, the first cop that says anything to him says like nice bust or nice something, and Cash says, or Tango says, hey.
It's weird.
It's so weird.
His station was super bright and clean and not a lot of diversity in there, I noticed.
Right. Oh, interesting.
It was it reminded me of Beverly Hills Cop, the Beverly Hills police station, where it was just very antiseptic, whatever in there.
Clean. But, the taxpayer dollars are going a long way to keep that place clean.
He is told that Katherine is waiting for him in his office.
Oh,
all right. And what an office
Wonderful.
it is.
It's a very nice office.
It's fucking huge, wall-to-wall windows overlooking whatever.
Do you think he paid
LA?
to have that big office?
This would be like the chief of police's office.
It's a giant office.
It's huge. It's bigger than your entire apartment.
Yeah. Thanks.
I'm not knocking your apartment. I'm speaking to the square footage. Oh, it's okay. It's okay, buddy.
I'm bored.
So Katherine is in there, played by the beautiful Terry Hatcher.
The luscious Terry. She says she's leaving to go on a dance tour, and he's trying to talk her out of it. She's going out of town, and he's making it seem like, 2 months is a long time to go on a vacation. 2 months is just how long it takes to build a house. So he's like belittling her dance career.
I don't know, man. We're left to wonder, to ponder what is their relationship.
It's hard to make out what's happening because it's weird. It's a weird vibe, and he's weird.
What do you sense is the relationship?
I sense
in this scene?
I sense not like sexual partner relationship.
Okay.
I got like family member.
Okay.
Just the way that he was like communicating with her. You don't run away from your problems. We can face them together.
He's if nothing else, he's incredibly overbearing.
It's
like
gross.
whether it's a girlfriend
really weird.
or a cousin or a fucking stepsister. But yeah, Tango's unhappy. He said he wants the phone numbers for where she's going to be. And it's like,
she's like, I'll call you.
You're right, but even if, how would she, I would not have those at my fingertip.
No.
If I'm like, I'm going to be away for a couple of months, presumably in several cities.
I don't have the hotel list in front of me.
Oh yeah, let me break out the list of all the hotels I'm staying on.
That's
their phone
so
numbers.
weird. It's so weird.
Fucking fax them to
It's
him.
very icky. Exactly, yeah. If you're feeling stressed, don't run away. We can deal with this together. Well, and I don't understand why he thinks that she's like running away. She's going away for work.
Yeah. She's going off. This is her career, right?
And then she says, I need some time alone. Why? Are they together all the time?
I don't know what's happening, but it makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, it does. It does me too.
His is questionable.
Yeah.
He's not the boss of her.
No.
She's not like a person who's whatever. What do you call it when someone's like incompetent?
Yeah.
That I'm your legal guardian. I may have to make your decisions for you.
I would let Terry Hatcher boss me around, though.
Oh,
she can make all my decisions.
Yeah, it's weird. So then another officer bursts in and tells him he's got a call on the line from his stockbroker. He's like, what's a margin call? And he's like, I got to take this. It's important.
Very important. Don't leave. She leaves wearing the worst hat you've ever seen. It's like a fedora with white roses on it.
Yeah, I feel like girls on Instagram are wearing those things.
Really?
Now.
Okay.
Yeah, hats.
Maybe it's coming back.
Cyclical. It's coming back.
I have a fedora, but I don't.
You don't tie a white ribbon around it and a bow on the
with
front?
some flowers. No.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
Meanwhile, across town.
Right. Cash is walking into his station, still pulling the bullets out of his vest.
I love it. It's an opportunity for Kurt Russell to be shirtless. And he's like, can you go ahead and get shirtless in the elevator? He's like, absolutely.
I'm no expert.
Yeah.
But I don't think this seems very realistic. Like, if he had just been involved in a shooting and everything like this, I feel like forensics guys would have taken the vest, and he's not just plucking the bullets out.
They would have taken the slugs and taken them down to ballistics and looked at them and everything else.
Handling them yourself in the elevator at the police station.
I like that he's bemoaning the holes in his $9 shirt. Adjusted for inflation, that T-shirt would cost $21 today.
I liked that joke, though. This shirt cost me $9. It's a killer, dude. And, I mean, Cash would be on leave right now. He wouldn't be just rolling back into the precinct.
He's a badass, though.
Yeah.
He's a badass.
I like him. Dude, my favorite moment from him is when he snags that piece of pizza.
Is that like your favorite moment of the whole movie?
He steps out of the elevator. Some guy comes by carrying a box of pizza, and Cash is like, "Ooh, pizza!" and grabs a slice.
I feel like that is a signal from the gods that we should have pizza tonight.
Yes.
Are you into it?
We will order the pizzas.
I love it.
Okay. Awesome.
Eat pizza and drink with us if you want to.
Yes. Bust open a beer, or whatever else you like to have with your pizzas.
That's right.
Anywho, dude, that moment though with the pizza is so endearing. I love Kurt Russell.
There's like a childlike innocence there. It's very, very cool.
It's like a Ninja Turtle vibe.
It is. Oh, Kurt Russell, you're a national treasure. The next we see of him, he's sitting at his desk putting on a killer man blouse.
He's changing out of that.
I would wear the shit out of that shirt. It's awesome.
You dug it? It was very billowy. It sort of had a V cut into the neck of it.
It looks like something that would cost $150 now.
Yeah.
It looks like some theory or
and he rocks
something
the
like
shit
Vince.
out of it.
Yeah, it looks really good. Kurt Russell, way to go.
Opens up his drawer to his desk, which is filled with hard candy and granola bars.
Right.
And a gun.
You get peckish.
I guess so. But he's pissed that someone has been messing with his gun.
I like that he notices it immediately.
Yeah. Interesting, though.
Yeah.
Foreshadowing.
And well, also
maybe?
the music in the background gets this like mysterious like.
Yeah, there's
like,
a musical cue to let us know that this is important.
It's untoward that someone has been messing with that gun.
I wonder how many guns he had. That is not the gun that he had in the parking garage.
No, it's a different gun.
Yeah, it's
For
like a
sure.
little semi-auto,
Yeah.
silver. He had the revolver.
It sort of looks like a Walter, but it's not. But it's got a similar shape to it. But
It's very compact, kind of little semi-auto. Yeah. But then, so we got Cash is talking to his captain, Captain Holmes.
right,
That he's played by Eddie Bunker.
right. Oh, Eddie Bunker. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Mr. We were talking about this earlier that he was Mr. Blue in Reservoir Dogs.
Right. Best known as Mr. Blue.
A very small part.
Very small part in both movies, really. But, yeah. He's talking with his captain. Captain's telling him, "Oh yeah, the guy you busted. He says he doesn't speak English."
Right. He said through an interpreter that he wants his lawyer, but he doesn't speak English.
Right, and Cash thinks otherwise.
Yeah, Cash has other ideas, so he goes full police brutality on the guy.
Fuck, man.
I mean, they even went the extra mile by having another cop come in and be like, "What's going on?" And Cash is like, basically like, "Can you turn a blind eye and just let me continue to brutalize this person?"
This is English 101, and the guy just like walks out.
Cool. I'll see you later.
All right. Yeah, have fun.
Keep doing whatever it is you're doing.
I didn't like that, but yeah,
I
he's
didn't
basically
either.
strangling the guy. Or he's got his chair propped on the dude's chest.
Right.
The guy, under duress, tells him that it was Quan that set him up.
James Hong.
Or set it up. Yeah, the James Hong character. He tells him about that there's a deal going on that night. He gives him an address.
It's popping off.
It's all super convenient.
Right.
Yeah. Now, then what? We're back with Tango now.
That's right.
Tango's talking to his captain, Captain Schroeder, who's giving him a tip. The same tip.
The exact same tip
same
pulled off a
address,
wiretap.
Pulled from a wiretap. And he's looking at that same front page, and he's like, Downtown Clown versus Beverly Hills WAP.
That's pretty good.
You like that one? It made me laugh.
Yeah, that's pretty clever.
I like
in
it.
a movie that's just not full of clever things,
It's
clever
also
moments.
meta because Stallone was supposed to play Axel Foley in Beverly Hills Cop.
Oh, I would have hated Beverly Hills Cop then.
I don't think it was written for him to play it, but when they wrote it, they were like talking to Stallone.
Interesting.
Fucking Stallone, man. He's like, yeah, I love it, but can we make it less funny? And I want Axel Foley's name to actually be Cobretti, and we call him the Motor City Cobra. And then I think the people, Bruckheimer and them who are making Beverly Hills Cop, were like, you know what?
We're going to go a
Great
different
idea,
direction.
Sly, but we're going to go a different direction, so it was nice to have met you. So then Sly went off and he made Cobra. And,
I hate Sylvester Stallone.
and they put Eddie Murphy in there and made one of the best movies of
One of the best
80s
action
or
movies
any
for
time.
real. One of the best cop movies ever.
Incredible.
I like this exposition that we get. And I don't like it, but it happens. we get some exposition here that Tango's independently wealthy.
Yeah.
He doesn't even really need this job. And,
Yeah.
and Cappy's like, why? And he's like, action. Good old American action.
Yeah, he's like telling him, you dress like a banker. What are you doing this for? It's insane.
I do it for the thrills. I'm a cop for thrills.
I'm a thrill killer. He's like
It doesn't make any
not
sense.
unlike Will Smith's character in Bad Boys, who's like got a lot of money and he just likes to be a
Right.
cop. I mean, I get whatever. I don't know. Where do you think the money came from? Just from wise investments, or did he inherit a
I
bunch
think
or
so.
something, or had
Maybe
another
both.
gig?
We know that he's good with money and like stocks and stuff like that.
Apparently.
He's got a diverse portfolio. But then the captain says, if you really wanted to stare death in the eye, you should have gotten married. To which Stallone replies, is that a proposal?
in an unfunny delivery and just
Yeesh. It's so wooden. It's so stilted. It's terrible.
So now the scene shifts to this futuristic warehouse where there's an army inside, like processing guns and stuff. You gotta love this shit, man. Anytime the bad guys have got this like private army, it's like James Bond shit.
Definitely.
So Ponytail Goon is leading Quan and Lopez through the floor of the warehouse to meet Perret,
Right.
who's fucking watching highlights of Tango and Cash arrests.
Who made the video?
Yeah. Dude.
Well, this is the first time we'll talk about, like, there must be they've got an evil AV team. And he was like, could you make me a compilation video of Tango and Cash?
Greatest hits of Tango and Cash. It's so ludicrously
Gabriel
unrealistic.
Cash. How many millions this time? How many? Just laughing. Like, it's almost like he is excited, like he's been driven crazy by them or something. I don't know. I don't get it.
It's crazy, and it's like he's got this layer that's fucking decked out. It's built with these levels, and there's fucking weird mood lighting and artwork.
He's got a killer decorator.
But it's all raises the questions of like, does he have? Did he contact an evil fucking
interior firm?
Designer, an evil contractor to build this place?
Maybe so.
We haven't seen it yet. We'll see it later. He's got a fucking hall of mirrors off to the side.
It's very,
behind
very,
a secret
very,
panel.
very strange.
Yeah. So he moves from his cash footage over to his tango footage. Oh God, Ray Tango, how he loves to dance.
He waltzes in.
He waltzes in and takes all of my drugs and then tangos back out again. What? Fucking what?
I don't know. I don't know.
He is on fire.
He's insane.
He's obsessed with Tango and Cash. They don't even know who he is. We'll find out later.
No one knows who he is.
Yeah, and he's
like the
nuts.
shadow organization behind Lopez and Quan, who, as the movie unfolds, you get that they're the two bosses of town.
Right, and they have maybe direct contact with the thugs.
And that Perret is like the big bad that's like orchestrating everything. But how's he gone that long orchestrating everything, and they don't know who he is?
Yeah,
no clue about him.
He's here to want to stick his neck out now.
It doesn't make any sense.
Whatever. But again, Quan and Lopez, they want to advocate for we should just kill Tango and Cash now, quick and easy.
Agreed.
Yes. And fucking Perret, quick and easy is how you bake a cake or shop by mail. What?
Baking a cake can take hours.
Yeah.
It's very methodical.
Shot by mail is a line that dates the fuck out of a movie.
Yes.
This is like some
Sears Roebuck shit. That's right.
CDs by mail or whatever the fuck. Yeah, dude. So then Perret brings out this box, an ornate box from behind his desk. He laments how much money he's lost at the hands of Tango and Cash. He says Cash has cost him $60 million in guns, drugs, and various other enterprises, whatever that means. And Tango has cost him even more.
Of course.
No fucking shit. The front page just said it was $1 billion bust.
That's got Stallone written all over it. However much cash is done, I've done more. Make my characters do more.
It was 100 times more.
Billions.
Yeah. So
then the weirdest thing maybe ever happens.
He opens this box up and pulls out a fucking pair of mice.
And gives him a good sniff.
He gives him a real good sniff. What the fuck is happening?
I don't know, man. I really just don't know.
Then he puts them back in the box, puts the box away for a second. He says,
and then starts to outline his plan, right?
Right. If I kill Tango and Cash, then we'll be at war with the police, and those two will be viewed as martyrs.
Right.
So what he wants to do is bring them down, I guess. But Quan now, James Hong, is he's on board. He's got this big smiling grin on his face, all right, I am in. Dude, this shit is making sense to me.
Yeah, I'm glad it's making sense to him, because I'm still on board. I'm Team Lopez. Let's get it done quick.
Yeah. So Perret says in 2 weeks, they're going to have a big shipment of guns, but he's arranged to have Tango and Cash behind bars by then.
And that's when he takes those mice. Then he walks over to the bar in the back of the room that's underlit, lit from inside, and it's got a glass top, and we see that it's a maze. And as he's outlining this plan, he puts the mice in the maze, and one of two things is true: that Perret already had a weird mouse thing and owned that bar just to torment mice.
Yes,
or he had it specifically built for this analogy.
Yeah. Can you imagine, I need this built so that Quan and Lopez will not understand unless I have this maze built into a bar.
I'm sort of thinking the latter because of how crazy his character is, and also we've gone into detail about what maniac has their lair at their warehouse appointed like that.
Yes.
That he was probably I need to explain something to Lopez and Quan, but the only way I'm going to be able to do it is if I have my bar transformed into a mouse maze.
Is it a good idea to have rodents and vermin in close proximity to where you're eating or drinking?
The place is not going to pass inspection. Let me just say that.
It's insane.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and who built that? Who do you go to have a maze bar commission?
The evil interior designer.
Okay, I need this.
The same guy.
Fabricate it.
Same guy.
I need it quick.
I love that idea, darling. I'll have it for you in a week. It's fantastic.
Yeah, basically. But shit, I think that will wrap us up.
Haven't we done enough?
That's all I can handle. That's all I can handle for one sitting.
It's too much. It's all been too much.
Yeah.
We hope that you're as distressed by this as we are.
The movie's a whole lot of too much.
But we're gonna keep going next time.
We are gonna do this. I'm committed.
I'm committed too. I'm here for the long haul.
All right, good. I don't want to do it alone.
No, buddy, I'm here for you.
All right, man. Well, we will see you guys next week.
We'll be back.